Hey everyone, this is Muskan, and today we're going to be discussing Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Okay, so don't judge me, but this is the first Christina Lauren book that I've ever read. So I recently saw somebody recommend this book as the best Christina Lauren book out there. So I thought, why not pick up the best first? So I'm going to be giving a non-spoilery review of the book first. So if you haven't read Love and Other Words, this book is sort of a friends to lover book. It starts off with our main character Macy sitting in a coffee shop with her best friend Sabrina, and then she suddenly sees Elliot, who was her best friend slash boyfriend back in high school. And it's been 11 years since they've not spoken. So from the first chapter, there is a lot of mystery and you are intrigued to read the story further. That what actually happened between these two since they haven't spoken in a decade. So I really enjoyed the writing style. It's going on in two parallels. On one hand, we have the past story progressing simultaneously with what's happening right now in the present. It really reminded me of a book that I read back in high school, which was I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This also follows a similar past slash present story going on simultaneously, which I really enjoy because that generally keeps the intrigue going. So Macy lost her mother when she was probably in 7th or 8th standard. And then she and her dad buy this sort of a weekend house for them, which is in a small town located outside the city. And then they go there every weekend, and that's where she becomes friends with Elliot. So in the present, we know that something went horribly wrong between Macy and Elliot, but we don't know what it is. And in the past, we see their friendship evolving into a relationship. By 30% into this book, I was really pumped to see what would the big reveal be. Why are they not talking? Why they haven't talked in a decade? What could have Elliot done so horribly wrong? Or what did Macy assume that he had done wrong? Because, most of the time there is a better explanation for it. By 80% into the book, I was honestly a little frustrated. Macy as a protagonist started frustrating me a lot. I started questioning her choices. I mean, they don't even get to the big reveal till the absolute end 5% of the book. And honestly, I thought it was really dragged out. I mean, I just kept telling myself that this book will not top 3 stars for me at all. But the end redeemed this book for me a little. So I ended up giving a 3.5 stars out of 5. So that's it for the non-spoilery section part of the video. Even though the pacing gets frustrating, I still think it's worth the read. So if you've not read the book, go read it and then we can discuss it together. So let's talk about Macy first. I mean, what is up with Macy? Why cannot she just communicate? For the most of the book, I was so frustrated with Macy. She just has the worst communication skills ever. She meets Elliot after 11 years. Alright, you don't want to talk to him. You've cut him off from your life. But when you meet that person after 11 years and you guys start talking and you're also talking on the phone, you're texting, you're calling, how can you not discuss why you stopped talking all those years ago? Till the half of the book, I was very patient, I understood that she has a very hectic job working in an ER as a child doctor. But woman, get yourself together, get your mind together. Why can't you just talk? I mean, and what was her and Sean's relationship even? I mean, I could not get the hang of it even after the big reveal when, there's that moment when, that's why she was like that. I still couldn't get why she was engaged to the guy. I mean, being in a relationship with him, I would have gotten it. But you were engaged to him for about, I don't even know how long. And that just did not make sense for me. I really feel that Sean was the most bland character I've ever read about. I mean, I get that we're reading it from Macy's point of view after she's reconnected with Elliot. So maybe she's not into Sean at all. But if you're engaged to somebody, I would assume that they would occupy at least 20% of your mind. I mean, I don't think 20% is a lot. Macy talking about Sean doesn't even crack like 5% of this book. And that's why I just think that was just a plot device, which was not used very well in my opinion. Now let's talk about sweet Elliot Petropolis. So don't get me wrong, I really liked Elliot for the most of the book. I don't mind a simp, honestly, especially in books. And he was a total simp for Macy. I mean, he stayed in love with her for 11 years, did not bring any girl home, did not even hook up with somebody for a very long time. And I mean, that's a bit excessive, but sure, to each its own. He loves deeply and that's great for him. But I can't complete discussing Elliot without getting to the end of the book, so that's gonna be a little mush together. So there are two layers to the ending of Love and Other Words, right? So this is what it is from my POV, right? I have been reading this book, I am 80% in, and I just can't wait to get it over with, because I definitely know it's going to be Elliot cheating on Macy. I mean, it was too obvious for me, and that's why I thought I would end up giving it 3 stars or less, right? And when that happened, I was so cocky. I screamed. I was reading it at about 9 p.m. and I screamed. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. And honestly, the disappointment level was huge for me. So Elliot was at a New Year's party, drunk out of his mind, and on the call, he goes on to tell Macy that he loves her for the very first time. And he doesn't stop there. He goes on further to ask her to marry him. First of all, you're both in high school. That's just stupid, right? But I get it. When you're in high school, everything seems forever and all that nonsense. Fine. Till then, it was fine. Macy was obviously not very happy with the situation because this happened on a video call. She obviously wanted it to happen in person. And yeah, I get that. I definitely do get that. I mean, if that would happen to me on the phone, I think that would be reason enough for me to cut that guy out of my life. But guys are stupid. Guys are just stupid. But Elliot's stupidity does not end there. So we see Macy very upset after that phone call, and then she asks her dad if she can drive up to the Weekend house to meet Elliot and talk it out. And I really, really liked Duncan. I mean, he was such a great dad. It's a shame. Anyway, she reaches the Weekend house and then she calls up Elliot's phone and he doesn't pick up. His friend Christian picks up. I mean, Christian is the biggest douche on the planet. I mean, he's that guy your parents would tell you not to hang out with. He's like, everybody's had a Christian in their life. So Christian picks up and tells Macy that, oh, Elliot's not here. He left his phone, I don't know where he is, whatever. And of course, now Macy knows something is up. So she drives up to Christian's house. The douche also gives her the address, knowing full well what's to come. She shows up and then she searches for Elliot. And then she searches room after room, Christian and Brandon right behind her. And then she finds Elliot with Emma, the girl that she hated. And mind you, this is right after the phone call on which he told Macy that he loved her for the very first time and asked her to marry him. I just couldn't after that. And yeah, she cut him off from her life and blah blah blah, this is the end, whatever. But then we find out that there's another twist. So of course Macy is very upset, understandably. She goes back to her house, which is nearby, and then she's crying. She's switched off her phone. She doesn't want to hear from Elliot and everything. But because she switched off her phone, her father could also not contact her, and he was obviously worried in the state that she had left the party. So then Duncan, who's Macy's father, he comes over, he looks at her, he comforts her, and he offers to drive both of them home. And on the way over, they are hit by another car and Duncan dies on the spot. Yeah, even though I had a love-hate relationship with Macy, I really, really understood why she was behaving so frustratingly throughout the book, and I honestly, my heart did break for her. I mean, losing her dad, who was the only person in the entire world except for Elliot, a few years after losing her mother, and she was only 18, so of course she was really, really broken. And of course, she did not learn to communicate. That ending really did put a lot of pieces of the puzzle together, which did redeem the book for me. But of course, now that we know what happened 11 years back, of course, we're interested to know Elliot's side of the story, right? How would he explain it? And then he just tops it off. Just goes on to give the lamest excuse he could have given. He goes on to tell Macy that, I thought it was you. He says, I thought it was you, Macy. Even after all these years, I remember your face, not Emma's. Okay, don't hate me, guys. I understand that, what happened to him probably was not with his consent, he was drunk and whatever. It's a gray area. We did read him encouraging Emma, thinking that she was Macy. So it's a very gray area. We can't really say if it was SA or not. But I mean, I couldn't with that excuse. And of course, he was heartbroken also because he found out that Duncan, Macy's dad, died sort of because of him, because he would have never come there in the first place. Macy and Duncan would have never drawn back in such a bad mental state if it were not for him. So honestly, after that big reveal, I expected Elliot to do a little more towards the end. I mean, he just goes on to say, I'm sorry, and he throws up in the bathroom, and after that he's just lying in Duncan's bed saying, I'm gonna miss him. I honestly thought that it was not enough. I mean, I get it, Macy has had 11 years to process through all of this, but we as readers, we just found out what happened 11 years ago, and I don't think that was enough conflict resolution for us. But yeah, we end on a note where Macy and Elliot finally get together and they start living together, and that's where the book ends. So all in all, I think the book was really slow paced. I think they could have easily given the big reveal at the 60% point in the book, and we could have had more conflict resolution and satisfaction as readers. But apart from that, I would say I did enjoy the writing style. Would I pick up another Christina Lauren book? I actually would. I think they can do better. Turns out Christina, Lauren are two best friends, Christina and Lauren. So I think they can do better. I am excited to read more of their stuff. But am I dying to read more of Christina Lauren's book? Maybe, who knows, after the next one. So that was my review, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Do like, share and subscribe. And if you have a better Christina Lauren book for me to read, do let me know.